The first one of these is I want to ask you guys about your favorite companion thus far. And we can talk about this without spoiling much. Just a brief description of why you like this person and who you're traveling around with the most.
So for me is Valentine, who's a detective that you'll find sometime. And I like him because he seems the most useful. He's also just kind of fun to talk to. Like, all of them, of course, have their own personalities. But I really like that he can unlock terminals for me. So I'm just like, hey, want to check that out so I don't have to do it?
Just opens doors for you all the time.
Yeah.
There, gets things
He can
done.
pick locks and hack terminals up to a certain point. He doesn't have like master level, but I think he can do either advanced or expert.
Right, and so that's like super useful that you can't necessarily get from all your companions. Like, I doubt Dogmeat can do that. So.
You don't have to invest your own perk points in lockpicking and hacking.
If you choose to travel with Valentine. What about that personality? Without giving too much away, Valentine's probably the most fun personality.
He's
of
a
all
charming
of them.
character. I like his background too. He's a interesting fellow.
Yeah,
when you first meet him, I did not see that coming. Like, I came through the door and I was like, oh, that's cool. And we don't want to say what that is. We're not going to spoil it. But it's like, didn't see that coming.
What I was expecting did not meet what I saw.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. This is cool too. I'm good. Yeah.
As I said in the review, like he comes off initially as very cliche. But he develops a lot of depth. And there are a few great moments with him.
A lot of the companions feel that way. They start out, you're kind of like, I know who this person, what they're all about, and then you discover, no, I don't know what they're all about, and that's a lot of fun.
He's also like very much part of the main story. Like he's I think the only one that is that big of a part. So it's great that he is as good a character that he is as he is, because everyone is going to have to use him as part of the story.
Dan, is he your favorite companion?
Yes.
Okay.
He was with me pretty much the whole way. The only thing I didn't really like about him is that I couldn't change his outfit. Because he's a detective.
But why would you?
His trench coat is really part of his personality, so I understand why they did that. But it's like, well, I got this other cool thing. I want to see how he looks in it. I want to play dress up with my doll. But yeah, he's I did very much enjoy that.
It's like traveling across the wastelands with Guy Noir, Private Eye from Prairie Home Companion. It's just great. I love that part. So both of you guys enjoy Nick Valentine. What about you, Steve?
Codsworth.
Codsworth.
So great.
Awesome.
I'm a big C-3PO fan, right? And Codsworth has that like servile, slightly anxious vibe that I think is really cool. And again, like inventing the emotional context for the story in my own head, my thought was always, I'm going to find Sean. I want to make sure that Codsworth is with me when I find him.
Aww,
so
that's really
that sweet. Just so that there could be that sense of like normalcy and attachment and like a return to the idyllic days before, well, idyllic, relatively speaking, in Fallout terms. But yeah, for me, Codsworth, I found him to be incredibly effective in combat. I found him to be incredibly funny. It seems like all the companions have something slightly snarky to say about your compulsive desire to go around and pick up every single thing you find in the world. But Codsworth's take on it, I thought, sort of as this robotic butler, had this nice sort of humorous angle that I missed with folks like Piper or Preston.
Bethesda found ways to use humor in those characters a lot. I love that. Now, I'm a fan of Deacon, who I don't want to spoil, because Deacon starts out seeming like toothpaste bland. And then once you get to know him, like, oh, wow, there's a lot going on here. But the best thing about Deacon is that he compulsively changes outfits, and they don't explain this.
That's amazing.
So wherever you are, he will change his outfit contextually. So he'll be standing behind you. You'll be in Diamond City. You turn around, and he's dressed in like a catcher's outfit. You go into a vault, and he's wearing a vault suit. And you're like, where did you get that? And you go everywhere you are. You're talking to a scientist. You look over, and he's a scientist. You're just like, and which is also great because occasionally you catch him changing, and he's just running around in his underwear between outfits. But
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, he's also useful. And he kind of worships the ground you walk on, and I like sycophants.
I never actually met him.
Oh, do you have a Deacon at all? Oh,
Nope.
wow. Okay, Deacon's my favorite companion, hands down.
I just met him.
There's a lot of them.
My favorite companion moment currently is once I maxed out my relationship with Codsworth, I switched to Piper. And I treat a lot of the companions, as I'm sure a lot of us do, as pack mules. As you're gathering stuff, you're suddenly over encumbered, you can't run. Hey, Piper, hold on to all this stuff for me, please.
They offer.
They do offer.
I also like how there's a button to transfer all junk.
Yes.
But when I'm giving stuff to Piper, like I'm just doing it indiscriminately, and suddenly she'll have 6 Molotov cocktails that I forgot that she had, and we'll be in a fight, and I'm swinging at a rad roach in front of me, and suddenly I see this Molotov cocktail land right in front of my feet, and suddenly everything is on fire, and here comes Piper running up with a gun shooting, and I'm just like, to me it's really funny, and I don't know if that's a an intended behavior, or what's obviously an intended behavior, but I don't know if they intended for it to be funny that way. But that's what I love about my interaction with that companion. It's just, I didn't think it would happen like this, and suddenly I have this cool story moment that I can share.
It's interesting that nobody really gravitated toward the dog. Like,
So
I used him a little bit, but like he's
a dog.
Yeah, it's dog meat. Yeah.
I used dog meat until I met Deacon, which was fairly far into the game.
Wow.
I used dog meat a lot because I just love dogs, and he looks at me and goes,
He makes the most compelling, incredible dog sounds ever.
He does.
He's kind of adorable, but honestly, like I got rid of him almost immediately because I didn't really know that I could. Like because from watching all the stuff that Bethesda had put out before, it's like, is he going to be a constant companion? It's like, oh, I can switch him out. Okay, let's switch him out.
Right.
So I wanted dog meat first. Like that's what I said last episode, that I needed to find dog meat first. Like that was my go-to.
That
thing.
didn't take too long.
I did. I know. I was just like, oh, this is the same thing as the E3 showing. So I know where to go get him. And so I had him for a while. My problem with him is that he whines too much.
Yeah.
He does whine a lot.
Are you okay? Like, are you dying? What's happening? I need to take care of you. I'm like, just what if you just go home?
Right.
I love him. I like sending him to find things that's useful. And his ability to pin in the early game, especially when you're underpowered, is really nice.
Yeah.
You get hold somebody down, you get VATS in for a headshot. I was playing a perception build, so pinning somebody down, I'm like, ha ha, sucker! That was good.